Hello, 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 everyone. We are live. All right, let's get this day going. Let me just get this fixed. All right. Oh man, I forgot to turn on my other light. Give me just one sec. Wait just one sec, guys, while I fix the other light. I'll be right back. All right, good to go now. Now you can see my face. It's not so dark. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How has been your week going? Let me know, let me know, let me know in the comments. And we're supposed to have Steve coming in a little bit later today, so we will see. We're getting some interesting moves on the Nasdaq this morning, and we're gonna see if we can find some opportunities. Now, this was an interesting setup. One could have taken the break of this trend line. This is the trend line from yesterday. I think this would have been a great setup. I didn't take it because I wasn't live, so I want to take as much trades live as possible. So missed out on that one, but this one could have been. Let me set this up right away because this is not set up on my new account. So we're gonna put the entry blue. The stop is gonna be dark red. And we're gonna do light green, and we should have 2, 3 to 1, 2 to 1. Where is it? So we'll do partial goal. This one will be 2. And this one will be 3. Whoa, not 20, 3. All right, and then both of them will be green. We got a light green and green. And then define as default. Okay, and then let's save. All right, so now we can do this right. So this was an interesting setup. I was looking at it. Actually took it on my other account, and I took it up here. Fortunately, I didn't get stopped out. So let's see, is this still running? Yes, it's still running. Let's see how we can get how much we can get out of this. I wouldn't trust this too much because we have news coming in again at 8:40. Well, sorry, it's already been 8:45. So that was the news. I haven't looked at the numbers yet. We're gonna do that, but we have news coming in. The manufacturing PMI coming in at 10. And this is previous support. So I wouldn't be surprised if after this move down, we see, a retest of this area and maybe another move down. That would be one possibility. Another possibility we could see is that we just continue the uptrend. So if I go and zoom out and we go into the daily chart. Oh, by the way, these are notes for my webinar today. Right after the live, I'm gonna do a webinar where I discuss the trades that allowed me to pass the challenge and everything that went on. I got to a point where I almost lost the account. So yeah. All right, my friend Stuart is in the house. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Hope you're doing better with all that flooding going on in the UK. I know you're in Spain, but wish you the best, and I wish you a green trading day. So let's get into these charts. All right, so we got about 25 minutes until the open. Let's keep analyzing this. So let's yesterday we saw a pretty significant bounce. So I'm expecting continuation, and we're going to look at the ES longer term, and we're going to see how well that bounce aligned with the middle of the longer term chart. So very interesting one. These very interesting pattern to look at. These are just notes of when I started the challenge and when I passed, which was the day before yesterday. Anyways, today, if we're looking at a daily chart, we might expect, so again, as usual, multiple scenarios. We moved up, we tested that previous pocket right here during the overnight session, and now we're pulling back. So what we want to find out is, okay, are we going to continue to pull back to the, upper end of yesterday's candle around here? Or are we gonna, negate this and continue strong to the upside and go target these highs around the 500s on the Qs? And that analysis would be similar on the ES. If I look at the ES and put it on the daily chart, let's go. Similar analysis there. We recovered yesterday. We recovered very well. That entire day was 219 points. So that's pretty significant for the ES. Are we going to go and, recover there and conquer those highs again? Or are we going to pull back towards the upper end of this candle, this previous day? Or are we going to move all the way down to maybe the 50% of this day? So we'll see. It's still early. We have news coming out at 10. We'll see how much that affects the market and what we can do. All right, we got Ryan in the house. How are you doing? Ryan, let us know. Where are you watching us from? What are you trading? All right, so that's what we're looking at on the daily, and let's kind of zoom in on the 4 hour and start forming our analysis. So we saw some rejection here on the 4 hour, pretty nice wick there. So we'll see how that evolves. So same analysis there. Are we going to be able to, after the open, hold these levels and then completely reverse up, or are we going to just sell off and go take either these highs there or continue a little bit deeper towards the middle of the range? So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the news affects the market and make our decisions and take the opportunities that we can take. So let me just go into my day analysis right there. This trade is still valid. So I think if we are really going to push down, we have room to go all the way down. Let me take this out. We have room to go all the way down to here. Now, we need to be clear, and let's keep zooming into the levels. We need to be clear that we are in a previous support area. So we have this support area here. Well, we'll see, we're starting to see buyers step in. This support area here, and a little bit lower, we have this previous support area. So we'll see how buyers react to that and develop. All right, we got Ryan looking at gold and NQ at the moment. Oh, we had a great gold trade yesterday. I'm going to take a look at it again, and it really developed well. Got a nice 2-to-1 win yesterday, so that was nice. Right after we're done with the Qs, we're gonna look at that. So yeah, what we're watching is, this area here. So I could put this pocket here. Are we gonna find, some reaction there? Are buyers gonna step in again at those, we're at the 2400 area. So it's a pretty round number, an area where we might see some action. So we'll see what happens there. And are we going to see the retest? Now we have this other pocket here, which is another area of possible support. So we'll see what happens there as well. I have not marked any of those levels yet. Maybe I should, yeah, maybe we should do that. So let's get this here. I have not, let me load the volume profile. So On the funded account, I am using the one, so Black Arrow 1 version, which is the I don't know, basic tier. But I have the other version. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to the pro version and I'll do my analysis on that, save it, and then switch back to this account so we can see everything. So let's switch. Let's go to the pro. Yes. So we switch the license. All right. Oh yeah, it doesn't keep, oh man, it doesn't keep my it doesn't keep the levels the way I want it to. All right, I just want to take a look at the volume profile. This is giving me some weird data there. Let me click on this. Let me make this smaller. Sorry. All right, I could see it there. It's giving me, there's might be a glitch to this thing. The volume profile here is very clear. I don't know why it's giving me this huge error here. But as I was talking about, we're seeing some buyers step in at this previous level. So we'll see if they have the strength to hold and push this higher. Now, even though we see buyers step in, you know, we might get a reaction. We saw a sharp rejection at this level. So we want to keep an eye on that today. We might see buyers, you know, try and push up and find selling again here, because on the volume profile, this is a low volume node here, even though you can't see it really well, but this is a low volume node. So we might get some selling again after the open. So we want to watch for that and see what happens there. And let's just, all right, I just want to take a look at what the profiles look like and then switch back to the other account, because it's not going to be very helpful. All right. Ryan saying overtraded yesterday again, so decided to stop trading when the stream ends going forward. All right, nice. As a how could I say this? As a fellow overtrader and as a recovering overtrading addict, I'll give you some tips that have helped me. There are various things you can do. First of all, you can decide you're going to take a certain amount of trades every day, and you stop after that. Now, depending on the platform you use, if you're using Black Arrow, you can go to risk management right here. Let me put it there, right there. Where is it? There you go. You go to risk management and you want to lock the trading. So you can decide, okay, I'm going to lock it after a certain amount of consecutive losses. I'm going to lock it after a certain amount of closed trades. And you decide, okay, you select this, put the amount of trades where you want to stop, and decide whatever works for you. So that's one way of, let me cancel this. We don't need that. Don't save. Yeah, so that's one way of doing it, right? The other way that could help you is, so that's first way is you decide, okay, I have a fixed amount of trades where I'm gonna, you know, stop trading, and you make the platform lock you out. I used to have to do that. The other thing is, over trading is due to psychology. And it's because, this is what I've found, you know, I've looked around and gathered a lot of information on that. It's because your trading might not be very well defined. So in my case, that was, and I'm still working on it, but what you can do is really clearly define your process. And a way that helps is trying to build, you know, a back test on something like TradingView or whatever. It forces you to really define your trading setup. And then, you know, you need to have clear rules. So I can give you an example. Let's say your trading setup is a trend line break right there. That's what's happening. And then your criteria is what? We have the trend line, we have the break, we have the pullback, and then, you know, hopefully we get continuation. Let's say this is your setup. What would be the criteria Well, the criteria would be, first, I need to define a trend line. Okay, I have my trend line. This is the trend line. Now, what is the entry criteria? What is my risk? Well, for example, me on a setup like this, usually, and I'm going to show you today, I enter one contract or let's say half of my size on the break. So if it breaks, I enter one contract. If it pulls back and touches the trend line, I enter the second contract. My stop goes above the previous high. And then I hold the trade and I have two exits. Exit number one is once, well, this is very, very short, very close, but exit number one is once we reconquer the previous low. So if we pull back, once we get here in this area here, I'm getting out regardless. And I call that the payroll. So you're getting paid for the trade. So you get out there. And then the other one is the bonus, I call it. So once you take out this first contract, you take your profit, you move your stop to break even. Well, that's what I do. And then you can decide where to take out the second one. Is it going to be when it reaches 2-to-1? When it reaches 3-to-1? Is it going to be at a previous defined level or whatever? But that second exit is where I get out. And you have those specific rules. And every time you see the setup, you take it the exact same way. And if you see that setup 5 times in the day, you could take it 5 times. If you only see it once in a day, you'll take it 1 time. And then you're not defining your trading by the amount of trades you're taking, but you're defining it by a specific setup. And you do that for all your setups. And if you do anything outside of that, then you're overtrading. As long as you do exactly what is defined, then you're not overtrading. So that's another way you could approach it, is have a clear, defined setup with numbers, values, and maybe I'll do a webinar on that so I get more specific. And that will help you, not overtrade. The other thing is have a daily stop. What I recommend is take the average of your 5 last days profit and adjust that every week, because your trading is going to go up and down. It's going to vary. So for example, let's say I'm going to take a random number. If you're able to make $100 a day, right? That means you made $500 this week. Your maximum daily loss is, for example, $200, because if I make on average $100 a day, it'll take me 2 days to make back what I lost. And once you reach that number, you stop trading. So it doesn't matter if you took 10 trades, 100 trades, or just 1 trade. As long as you hit that daily stop, you stop. So different tips there on how to stop overtrading. I'm just going to recap because I know I did a lot of talking. First thing is you have a defined amount of trades. So I'm doing 2 trades a day, more or less here. You could do that and stop. Or you have a clear setup or clear setups that you take with clearly defined entry and exits, and you do the same thing every time, and it doesn't matter how many times it shows up, you take that same entry and exit. The last way is to have a defined stop for your trading day, a stop number, and you make that you're at the average of your last 5 days. And these are ways you could try and stop overtrading. So yeah, Ryan says I'm using MT5. Okay, I know I rambled a lot there, but these are ways you can, because what happens is you're trying to get a win and then you're forcing trades. I've been there so many times, and then it's not working. And then the bad thing is sometimes you take that last trade and it ends up working. So you kind of feel justified, and then you repeat the bad habit. So you don't want to do that. Yeah. The discipline is tricky. And if you look at your life, if you look at other things you do, you will see the same patterns you have in trading repeat in real life. So pay attention to that. It's a work in progress. When we're trading, we're really self reevaluating. So think about that, and keep jabbing. And I like the fact that you said you'll stop trading after the stream. So maybe that's a good way of doing it. And if you're able to actually stop without if you're able to stop, let me tell you something. If you're able to stop without having to lock your platform, so if you're able to stop and just shut the platform down and not come back to it, you are a huge step ahead. You're doing great progress, because for me in the past that was very hard. I had to actually lock my platform not to go back to it and trade. I just couldn't stop. So if you're able to do that, man, kudos to you. Keep it up. All right, we got about 8 minutes to go here. I've been rambling a lot, but I really want to help you guys out. Ryan said I was profitable in 23, made very little in 24, and last year I was okay too, but seems I still have issues to work on. I mean, hey, people that have been trading for 20 years, for 25 years will tell you trading never gets easy. So, don't worry about that. You're making progress. First of all, there you go. I was about to say that. Thank you, Stuart. Stuart says recognizing the issue is a great first step. I think that recognizing the issue is resolving the issue halfway. The hardest thing to do is the first step, which is recognizing that, hey, I have an issue. Most people are not very self-aware, and they're not able to resolve their issue. So I think that is a great first step into resolving it. You're aware that, hey, I have an overtrading problem. Let's keep it moving. And that is great that you were profitable in 23. You said very little in 24, but don't worry. We're working on it, and we'll get better together. Our slogan is let's trade futures with confidence together. So let's trade futures with confidence together. Let's fix those issues. And if once in a while you break the rule, it's not a problem. As long as it's not devastating, we keep it moving. All right, guys. So we're gonna wait. Let me drop down to a smaller time frame to see. So buyers have stepped in. We haven't seen a lot of aggression, which is good. We're still hovering below here. We're gonna wait for the open. We're gonna see what happens, and we'll decide from there if we're gonna take it or not. Let me move my trusty ORB box. I don't know why I made it pink, but I'll keep it pink. We appreciate you too, Ryan. We appreciate you too. Keep dealing with the cold in Canada, by the way. I was in Canada. Glad to have found you too, and glad to have you on board. I don't know if you're on the French Canadian side or if you're in the English speaking parts of Canada, but I've been to Canada a few times. I have a few friends up there. In my past life, I used to work on a team that had many Canadians, and we handled business in Canada. So yeah, you guys are awesome. I love Canadians. They're very nice. Most of them. I've met some mean Canadians, which is odd, but even when you're mean, you're nice. So awesome. Kudos to you. All right, guys. This is looking nice. This would have been a great entry. This is the break, the retest. My only problem is we're 5 minutes to the open, so this might just drop like a rock, but we might spike up again. So we're going to be patient. We're going to be disciplined. If I miss the setup, I'll miss it. But this is looking spicy, like Steve likes to say. All right, we're going to take a look at gold really quick. Oh, nice. Southern Ontario. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Very nice. Haven't been to Ontario yet. I've been to Montreal. I've been to New Brunswick. So Moncton, Moncton, and oh man, what's the other city's name? Fredericton. And I've been to Montreal quite a number of times. I've been to, in French, Les Laurentides. So nice. Haven't been to Ontario yet, so we'll go there eventually. Yes, Stewart says all traders go on tilt. It's those that do not address the issue early enough that suffer. I agree. Great advice there. We're getting a lot of wisdom from Stewart this morning. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. Let's wait for this open. We're going to take a quick look at gold. Let me see if we can find the trade we had yesterday. Where was it? Where did we take this trade? Yesterday was the 31st. Oh, there it is. There it is. It was a nice pullback. Whoa, sorry. Right there. We had a nice, this was a classic. I was talking about how this was a classic flag pattern right here. You have the pull, the pullback, and then the continuation. And then I did a 2-to-1, so I was out targeting those previous highs. I was out there, took a nice win, but look at how this performed. I didn't look at it after, but this was insane. And we're still, from there, if you entered here and you held overnight, this would have been a nice win. You're 150 points in the profit. So that would have been a great, great, great one. Gold recovering nicely. I was telling Jane yesterday, but I think gold is finally behaving like the safe haven that it is. If we look longer term, I think we're going to recover pretty nicely. I don't know if we'll probably oscillate in this area for a while, but this is starting to look like a V-shaped recovery, or let's call it a VW, a Volkswagen shape recovery. But we'll see. Ryan says, "Let me know when you're going to visit." Yeah, sure, I will. I will. Definitely not in the winter though, because I can't deal with your winters, especially Ontario. Wow, it is cold, cold, cold. You guys are not too far from the lake there, so that watery front, I don't know, man. It gets cold. All right, so we have CL to check out. We are holding slightly below the $100 level. I don't know if you guys have realized, but I don't like to get political, but the situation forces us to talk about it. Ever since gold reached those highs, the US has been frantic about putting news out and trying to get things to move back down, right? We also have seen Iran respond and say what they're saying is not making sense. So a lot of back and forth there. We have to keep that in mind. And the very thing that lets me know that the US government is very concerned by how the market reacts to what they say, what they put out, and whatever, is their actions have always happened. I mean, the concrete ones, the hard ones, while the market is opened. The operation started over the weekend. So that lets you know, okay, they are conscious of what they're doing, and they're conscious of how it's affecting the market, and they're desperately try to find ways to, counteract those these actions they decided to take in the Middle East. So we'll see what happens. All right, market is open. Let us see what will happen. And let's see. All right, guys, we are open. We are moving. Remember, please remember to subscribe. I only see one like, guys. Help me out. Help me out. Help the channel out. All right, this is looking nice. We had the break, the retest, so I'm definitely gonna try one. I think I'm going to try one here. I have to switch the account to the funded account. Let's see. Let's give it a little bit more time. All right, I lost my lines there. Let me put them back. And I lost my pink ORB box, so we'll put it back as well. All right, let's see if we can get that retest. We have buyers stepping in. So we're remaining under that trend line there. Let me take a quick look at the overall market. All right, we're seeing a nice reaction there. 1-to-1. Let's see if we can capture the retest of the highs. So that'll be our first trade of the day. We are in. So we'll see if we can go retest those highs. The reason why I did that is because we saw increased volume there, wick down. So we're seeing it be reconquered. What we talked about is if we were taking a short, we would like to see it go there, pull back, and then get sold again. So we'll see how we react to the highs. And if we blow through sharply, I will keep, I will hold and keep going up with the trend. I'm just going to manage the risk and manage the stop as it goes in our favor. And if it doesn't go in our favor, we'll take a 1 hour loss. So this take profit is very fluid. Only one contract for now. So we're long. We are neutral. We are conscious that this might turn into a short, but we're also conscious that we might see some pretty good continuation long. So we are staying open-minded. If buyers really want to push this higher, we're going to ride this wave higher because this might have been a fake out and we're just going to continue this uptrend. So we're keeping that in mind. And we'll see. This take profit is very fluid. All right. I'm just going to open another window there. Let me close this. Let me put this on a 5-minute. I'm going to put my 5-minute there. And I'm going to put my 1 minute there just so I could have a view of both. Now we have news coming in at 10 o'clock. So we'll see what happens. But so far looking good. 1 hour in the profit. Let's see how we react to those previous highs. Can we reconquer them or are we going to rotate back down? Now, what we're going to do right now, since we are already 1 hour in profit and we're trading, we're scalping, I'm going to move my stop. Whoa. I'm going to move my stop to break even because the pullback right there might just be where the short entry is. So if the pullback takes me out, then that kind of shows me that, okay, I might have to look at shorts instead of longs. But again, I'm staying very open-minded. I want to see, okay, can we continue to push higher or are we just going to sell off at that previous high? So two areas we're looking at is right here and this wick over here. Since we're long, and we saw, aggressive buying here. We didn't see this just trickle up, trickle up, trickle up, trickle up. We saw aggressive buying here. We want to see, okay, are we going to be able to push higher? Because on the daily, we looked more bullish than bearish. And we had a very shallow pullback here. So we'll see how we can go and reconquer these highs. We're staying open-minded. I'm not bullish or bearish. Since I'm in a long, I would prefer the long to work and really go retest these highs. If it doesn't, then I'll stay open-minded and look for another setup. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know in the chat how you are doing. While this trade is cooking, right, we're going to take a quick look at what I was telling you about on the ES. So let me pull up Trading View right now. Let's do Trading View because that's where I have my longer term view of the ES. They're always doing a sale. 80% off. Interesting. All right. ES, we'll go to a daily chart. Daily. Where is it? 1 day. Actually, no, not even daily. We'll do a weekly chart. And yesterday I was talking about that with Jane. Man, it is so interesting to see. Look at how we basically tagged the middle of this uptrend, right? And yesterday we were talking about that with Jane is, are we going to see a bounce from here? And we are definitely, we're 2 days into the week. And so far we have seen a nice 265 point bounce. So it is highly likely that we continue to see an up move all the way back into this pocket right here, just below the 7,000 levels, before we rotate back down and go retest this middle of the range. So we'll see. All right, so Ryan's saying, do you usually trade momentum on the open? Honestly, I don't do it very often. I am doing it for you guys. This is for your entertainment. I'm gonna trail this this stop, by the way, gradually using the 5-minute. So we're gonna trail it below the wicks. We'll see how much we can capture there. We are gonna see how we react to those highs. Right now, we are about 1.5 R in profit. So I would ideally like to see 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 candles before I decide to move out if we have strength. So we'll see. I usually, just to answer your question, Ryan, I don't usually trade momentum on the open. I prefer to wait for setups to build, and I usually trade after 10 o'clock. Um, so this is an exception because I am seeing, some nice action here, and I didn't see the pattern I wanted to see on the open to go short, at least not yet. What I usually trade, at least when I'm not trading live, are setups that happen after 10 o'clock. And statistically speaking, and today I'm going to speak about it on the webinar, my best trading happens after 11 o'clock. So after 11 o'clock, between 11 and maybe 2 p.m., where I can, really see a pattern, and then I can do, a hold for multiple hours during the day. So that is usually how I trade. I prefer to do so. I'll scalp, try to build some cushion, and then take the big trade later on during the day. So, I'll do quick 1-to-1, 1.5-to-1, sometimes 0.8-to-1 trades in the morning. And I'll go in and out very quick, maybe quicker than there. So if I was trading alone, I would probably be out of this already. And then I'll use this profit, if I make profit, of course, to really go big on the trades later on during the day. So yeah. All right, we're seeing a nice reaction there. We're seeing some selling. It was to be expected. So actually, you know what? Let's keep this stop right there to break even. Give it some room. Maybe we see some buyers step in again, or maybe this is the actual short we were looking for, because we have reached those highs, right? We're seeing the selling, we're seeing increased volume, but this might just be, profit taking right there, and we might see buyers step back in. Maybe I should just give this more room. All right, you usually don't want to be playing around with your stop too much, but I'm being open-minded this morning. I want to give this more room because I feel like the way we're reacting right now, we might be more bullish than bearish, and we might see more continuation to the upside. So we'll see. We'll see. I didn't see too much weakness. It's like, if we zoom out, let me just zoom out there on a 15-minute. If we zoom out, this feels like a fake out. This feels like, okay, we're going to try to get that trend continuation breakdown and continue. Now, we have to be conscious that this morning, I remember what I was talking about. I was talking about a break, a retest, and then a short. So I want to see how we react, because that is actually the setup I was looking for. So let's see how we react. I just want to give it a little bit more time. Let me see if they can, I'll give it to more or less the middle of this area there. If we can do this, if we can, pull back and then have buyers kind of trickle back up and move there, then I'll hold it. If on the contrary, we're not able to do that, then I'll probably flip my bias. So let's see. Let's just be patient. We are about to close the first 15 minutes. So for my opening range breakout, guys, this is the opening range so far. This is the half point of the range. So basically, this is, I want to give it till there to see, okay, can we reconquer the half point? And then if not, then we'll flip our bias. All right, so we're seeing a sharp rejection there. So I guess our short setup is coming into play. So we might just have to flip our bias there and take the actual trade we wanted. So we'll see. All right. Antoine's saying, morning, guys. Also long training my diamond hands. All right. Let's not leave him too hard. All right. This is the short setup we were looking for. We're going to close the 15 minutes. So I'm flipping my bias and risking 2R on that. We'll see how we do. It's totally possible we see another retest of those highs. But we'll see. If we get, like a little breakdown and a retest, I'll add to that position. But this is the actual trade I was looking for. Break, retest. I tried the long. Maybe I should have flipped higher there, taken my profit. I would have had, more to risk, but we'll see. All right, let's see. We will have to watch a couple of levels. So we'll have to watch this pocket right there, and we'll have to watch this pocket right there. Should have bagged some profits. All right. Ryan saying, hope you brought the diamond hands. And Scheider saying, hi, I think we need to lock in profits. All right. Ryan saying, just got out 1-to-1. Now it's flipping. Let's see, but still training my diamond hands. All right. I am seeing what I wanted to see short, though. So that's the setup I was talking about this morning. We did the retest higher than expected. But let's see if we can get this short going. If this short can go, I think we can capture a good move there. So we're 15 minutes into it. We'll see if buyers step in again at these lows. What we don't want to see, though, is we don't want to see those highs get conquered again. So we could see a pullback. That is fine. But hopefully we stay below the 50% of that opening, that ORB. If we could do that, then great. I did not, I could have taken a 1-to-1, back some profits, but I did not do that. I was too slow. So it is what it is. We'll see. Let's have our 5-minute open there. I think this is looking interesting to me. But if we don't see continuation after this 5-minute candle, it's highly likely we continue to the upside. So I might have to be a little bit less strict instead of taking just 2 trades every day. Whoa. What did I do there? Accidental. I almost had an accidental buy stop. All right, let's see. The 50%, let me just put a line so I can identify it. The 50% is right there. So we'll do, yeah, that's it. It's right there. So we're going to see how we react. We probably want to, I'm liking this selling, so I'm going to add to the position in a bit, and I'm just going to mark it in. I don't always use limit orders. Let us see. I like how we reacted to that. But remember, we got the news at 10 o'clock. So if you look at the half-hour chart, you can draw a trend line. Yesterday, Asian session has not been broken. All right, let me zoom out. Let's see. Indeed, that's what I'm saying. We might, this might not be the short. we might continue higher. It might have just been some profit taking, and we're continuing higher. That's why I said, we want to be looking at this area here. So I am very open minded. I might just flip my bias. We'll see. I just don't want to go back above. I don't want to go back above this line there. If we're not able to push lower and stay below this, then I'm flipping again the bias. We'll see. Are we able to reconquer these or not? My stop, this is a protective stop. My real stop is way down there. So I don't even need this all the way up here. I'll just leave it there. I always use protective stops because you can have breaking news, but the actual stop is there. Is this. Very, very fluid. All right, we're seeing the selling, so we're going to add. And if we do not have the behavior we're looking for, then we are wrong and we should be long biased. We're not going to be stubborn. So actual stop is right around here. So let's see if we can push. We're going to have the 10 o'clock open. I don't like to be too close to my entry when it's 10 o'clock. So I tend to sometimes close the positions before 10 o'clock. So we'll see. We're not seeing the sharp rejection I expected just yet. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Said, yeah, so good call there for the Asian session. Ryan. Yep, we're seeing buyers step back in. All right, we're closing, and then I'm going to reevaluate in a bit because it's going to be 10 o'clock, and I want a better setup. I wanted a sharper rejection. And hey, I might have exited too early, but I'm seeing too much buying right now. So break even trade, and we'll see what happens. And I'll find a better setup after 10 o'clock. I don't want to be holding into the news, and I don't want to be holding into that 10 o'clock thing there. So yeah, break even trade, just $4. But that's what you call a scratch trade there. So what was the idea? We could have caught a nice 1-to-1 there, but I wanted to give it room to continue. We did not continue. We saw aggressive selling, which was good. But right now we are retesting these lows, and we're gonna have news. So personally, I do not want to keep holding into this because there are multiple points of support. We have this previous area of consolidation where the asset was bought with volume aggressively. So that's one point. The second point of support is all the way here. And we have this pocket right here. And then, as Ryan was saying, we are near those Asia highs. So right there, where is it? So yeah, we are near, you see these highs there. So this whole area right there, this whole area is an area of support. So we did not push decisively through there. After this candle, my second candle should have pushed decisively through there. So I'm just not liking it. Now, if I had banked the profit, the risk before, I probably would have held through that. But right now, I don't want to be doing that. Ryan say break even better than a loss possible. Might have blown my account today. I mean, hey, it depends on how much you're down. How you see? Well, there you go. We're seeing the buying. The buying is coming back in. That is exactly why I wanted to exit. Now, this might be the retest. So if we're able to move up and we're not able to push, higher than this area, if we're not able to push higher than there, then the short is still valid. If not, then it's invalidated. I hate that I don't have the volume profile on this thing. I guess I'm gonna have to do it with TradingView because I don't want to be flipping accounts all the time. Let me pull up let me just pull up the NQ. I'm gonna put it on a 5-minute, and then we'll do a where is it? Yeah, I just want to see what the volume. Oh, okay. You see, guys, we reacted exactly at the point of control. We at that low volume node, this is where we bought. We sold right here, so we're inside this range. All right, we're seeing this B-shaped pattern here. So let's see how we react to that. I wanted to see where the point of control was, and we're right above it there. So looking so far more bullish and bearish. Ryan saying I got $100 left on my 20K challenge. Man, you got to size down a lot. Or just accept that, hey, you might have to start over, man. It's fine. I can't tell you how many accounts I've blown, whether they be evaluation accounts or actual real real brokerage accounts. So no worries. You've been profitable before. You know you have it in you. It's fine. Just keep going. You see how buyers got in aggressively? That's why we got out. We didn't see the follow through we wanted there. So after this candle, what I should have seen was this candle wicking up and then moving at least, to go there. And then the next thing we would look for there is, okay, is this a liquidity sweep or not? And then we would have wanted some continuation. So for the next candle to kind of move there. And then finally get a huge reaction, something like this. But that's not what we got. So we're still holding. Right now, the way price is behaving, I'm not a big fan of. Why? We have not conquered those highs. So we don't see that strength, at least not yet. And we did not go and test these lows. What is happening? We're in the range. Now we're seeing what I wanted to see for the short. So let's see. The only problem is it's happening right at 10 o'clock. And I don't like that it's happening right at 10 o'clock. Ryan's saying, but I'm not giving up hope. I once took an account all the way to $3 left of risk on another prop and somehow magically got it back. Oh, man. Wow, you're the man. I have not been able to do that ever. So good on you, man. If you could take an account from $3 all the way back up to taking a payout, good on you. Let's see. Let's see. Price action. Yeah, price action is a little bit messy. We're not seeing follow through. Here's what's happening, in my opinion. Okay, if you're a trader, sorry, man. If you're a trader, what's happening? You have different psychologies battling right now. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's get the chart clean and let's see, because I'm gonna wait after 10 o'clock to trade. So this is an hourly chart. What is happening right now? We moved up. Okay, if we're looking at the Qs, we moved up really sharply yesterday. We moved up 1,000+ points, right? And we're at the highs. So what do you have? You have everybody that missed that move yesterday FOMOing in, wanting to push this higher. Number one. You have the other side of the equation where a lot of the traders that were in there yesterday are selling, right? And they're saying, no, this should pull back. And it's a matter of finding out who's going to have the most power. Is it going to be the shorts, the people getting out, or is it going to be the buyers FOMOing in and saying, man, this is a huge buying opportunity. I don't think this is going to this is going to give me a chance to pull back. What happens when it's like that is you have this battle and then you trade in a range. You trade sideways. And I do not like ranges. I do not like sideways action. Look at how you see how we have this doji candle right there on a 15-minute, and we're probably going to form another one there unless we get a sharp reaction. That is indecision. We are in the middle. We're not deciding what we want to do. Do we want to go up? Do we want to go down? So what we want to do as traders, at least for me, is let price show me what it wants to do, and then I'll enter, right? We did an attempt already this morning. Actually, we did 2 attempts on both sides. We did an attempt on the long side that started to work. It could have been a 1-to-1, but we didn't get the follow through. We did an attempt on the short side. And if you look, and that's why I like to put my opening range box, because if you look there, right, we are still inside the range. Now we have reacted to the 50% of the range. So this could have been a good short setup, possibly. My problem is it's going to be 10 o'clock in 3 minutes, and I don't want to be touching that. So we'll see. Yeah, storage says close out for a small loss, ranging. All right. Small losses is what we want. We want to keep the losses small so that when the wins come, they come well. So just quick facts for you guys. For this particular challenge, I was tracking the data. I had mostly 1R or 0.8R wins on 80, was it 80? Like 80 plus 85% of the trades, and only 5 trades accounted for all the profits. What it tells you is I was surviving most of the time, and then I caught some very big moves, and this is where the profits came from. And at least in my trading, that is usually what happens, is you're surviving, keeping those losses small, just trying to find your way, and then eventually you catch some big ones, some big fish, and you're good to go. So we'll see. 10 o'clock is about to happen. We'll see. Ryan's saying was only a 10K though, so to be fair, hey, whatever the account size, man, it doesn't matter. That is great, you know. Here's the thing, and that's the great thing about trading. What you can do with 1 contract or 2 contracts, you can do with 10 or 20 or even 100. Well, when you get high up to these numbers, it becomes complicated for terms of, you know, getting fills and whatever on the real account. But what you can do with small size, you can repeat with big size. So, you know, don't lower the value of what you did. It's an awesome return, an awesome comeback. All right, we're seeing the selling. We're reacting below the trend line like I want to. Let's see what happens at 10 o'clock. I want to have 2 candles. I haven't looked at the other assets though, so I want to do that really quick. So our point of control, we're reacting to the point of control right now based on what we saw on TradingView. Yeah, we reacted to there. And let's see if we get a sharp reaction in this low volume area here. Overall market, let me look at the VIX. VIX is at 25, so nothing to run home about. Advanced decline, let me see what the advanced decline is looking like. Okay, tick chart, are we ticking up or down? All right, we're ticking down right now. Vol ratio is flat. So vol ratio is up volume minus down volume. It's kind of looking flat right now. Nothing significant. You saw how yesterday the up volume was much higher and trended all day. Right now we're just moving sideways. So we'll see if we want to tick up or down. Right now we're ticking up. And then let's look at our Mag 7. NVIDIA is somewhat neutral. Let me get that out of the way. NVIDIA slightly below VWAP, so nothing significant yet. Apple, Tesla tricking down. Tesla is okay. Microsoft, we're down about 0.9%. Amazon is up in relation to yesterday, kind of recovering. Let's look at Meta. So the reason why it might be obvious to some, but not to all, why I'm looking at these stocks is because they're the ones that usually carry the indexes, because you know the indexes are made up of US stocks. So I want to see how they're behaving. If all of them are green, well, we should go long. If all of them are red, well, we should go short. And if some are green, some are red, then we're kind of deciding. Let's look at the dollar index really quick. All right, dollar moving up. So if it's inversely correlated. If dollar is moving up, we should look on the other side. So let's look. All right, we're still pushing up. 10 o'clock has happened. Has the news come out? All right, job openings. Let's see. We're slightly below expectation, so less jobs. 2.97. Oh, job quits. Okay, sorry. Job openings is 6.8. Forecast was 6.7. Okay. Consensus was 6.92. All right, let's see how we react to that. We are reacting to that little line I had there. Oh man, I completely closed the news thing. All right, no problem. Guys, let me know if you want me to look at other things. We're waiting for our NQ trade right now. So far, I'm not 100% convinced of the long. We're still in the middle of the range. We're still, below those previous highs. So let's see. Do we get a wick, some selling, and we push lower, or are we going to be able to push higher? And if we're going to push higher, then the next thing to do will be to look for a pullback to be able to get in and possibly follow the day's trend. So we'll see. Now we've reconquered this area. That's exactly what I didn't want to see in the short, at least in the short that I was in. We didn't sort of see the follow through. So we're waiting. We're waiting to see what is going to happen. All right. I'm just looking at another chart right now to see. It seems like the asset wants to be more bullish than bearish today. Let's just keep watching and see what will happen. Seeing a little bit of resistance there. But not yet what I want to see to enter the short. It is a good spot to risk well, though, because I could risk these previous highs there. But let's see. Let's see if we can hold below this pocket or not. Bias is still short for me, 60, 60, 40. So 60% to the short side, 40% to the upside. All right, we're seeing a good reaction there. I'm kind of starting to like what I see. The 5-minute candle is going to close in a bit. So let's see what the next candle does. But this looks like a double bottom as well. You see how we pushed down, found a bottom here, pushed up, found a bottom here, and pushed up again. So it's entirely possible that we, continue up, find a pullback, and then continue there. That's one possibility. That's a bullish case right now. But if we're not able to do that, then that is what I was talking about this morning, where we pushed up. But this reaction was too sharp. I think it should have been more muted for a short. So my bias is going to gradually shift as the asset shows me its true colors and what it wants to do. All right, Stuart. Good, good, good. Good on you. We still have an hour to go, so I still want to see if I can get a setup. But if you're not seeing clearly, then you're done for the day. That is perfectly fine. Good discipline, Stuart. Let me give you a nice round of applause. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, we're seeing some selling, which is good. This is what we want to see. All right, we're seeing the reaction we want to see. So we're going to enter the second trade right now. Stop is going to go at the previous high, and hopefully we can get some follow through on that. If not, well, that will be the last trade of the day. All right, we're seeing some buyers coming in. So what we're looking for is, somewhat of a deeper pullback there, but maybe that doesn't happen and we just continue the trend. So, long on the long side, what we need to be aware is that this was, a W bottom. So we might just continue to the upside. But we'll see. Maybe that was the pullback we should have gotten. All right, looks like we're going to reconquer these highs. We're still looking bullish now. All right, Ryan saying, as long as you stick to your game, you are a winner. I agree. As long as you're sticking to your rules, following your plan, you are a winner. All right, this is not looking like I want it to look, so I'm not even going to hold this. We are out. 1 hour loss so far. Let's hold and see. I think I'm gonna have to change my 2 trades a day rule. I'm probably gonna change it to a maximum daily stop because that'll make it easier for me with my trading decisions on days like today where things are not 100% clear. So we'll see. I'll decide. The daily stop would be easier than just taking 2 trades. Let me look at the executions. Yeah, so the long would have still been a decent one. We're struggling to reconquer the highs, but looks like those longs want to keep the asset moving higher. Let me take a quick look at some other assets. Let me look at the Russell. All right, the Russell is kind of fighting those highs as well. So not a very pretty pattern, for lack of a better term. Let's look at the Dow. Where's the Dow? I don't have the Dow on there. All right, the Dow. Yeah, the Dow in the middle of the range. Everything is in the middle of the range. They're not showing true colors yet. Slightly more bullish and bearish now, in my opinion, if you were to ask. But right now it's 50-50. Right now it is 50-50. All right, we are back to these highs. I'm going to try one last time to see, do we get this short or not? Let's see. Let's give it a little bit of time. We'll let this 5-minute close and then take our trade after that. All right, guys, how you doing? How you doing? Let me know. The chat is quiet right now. Only 5 likes, guys. Remember, give the channel some love. Remember to like. If you're not subscribed, remember to subscribe. And that really helps us out. All right, let us see how this develops. I'm still short biased. So, all right, we'll see if we can get this one. And that will be the final trade for the day because I'm not seeing aggressive buying like I expected, but we're not seeing aggressive selling either. So anything can happen. Well, there you go. Just as you decide to go short, the buyers start to step in. So we'll see. This might have been the pullback entry to go long, but I don't know. The tape feels heavy to me. It might not be the correct read, but that is what I think we are seeing right now. And let me give it a little extra room just to the top of this previous high. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. And we might go and reconquer the previous area. So, buyers might be pushing this to reconquer those previous highs, and that's where we see the actual selling. But I don't know. I feel the tape is heavy, and I feel that we need at least a deeper pullback to there before we revert back. But hey, I might be wrong, so we'll see. We will see. So Ryan's saying, I believe there is a negative correlation between NQ and oil. If oil can magically drop, that would be nice for NQ. But my thoughts, I'm not an expert. Yes, there is. You are correct. There is a negative correlation in between oil and the indexes. So basically, if I do maybe we could put them side by side. Let's do a chart right there. And then let me open the NQ here. And then let's put CL right there. And let's put it on a daily chart. So this way you'll be able to see it better in a daily chart there. So there is a negative correlation. You see how as the Nasdaq pushes up, oil starts to sell off. So there is definitely a negative correlation there. If if oil can push back down, and that's what the US government has been trying to do, is push these prices down, then the indexes will continue to move up. So yeah, I think that would be, at least longer term, that would be good. That's not necessarily what I want right now for my trade, which okay, my short is not going to work out. But all right, buyers have stepped in. So anybody who's long, congrats to you. Antoine saying a bearish divergence also formed on the 5 and 15. Need to be careful, indeed. But buyers are winning the fight right now. Buyers have been winning the fight since this morning. Maybe I was too stubborn. I wanted to see, because that's my favorite pattern. This huge sell-off kind of induced me into it. But buyers are holding the fort right now. Buyers really pushing this thing higher now. I'm going to let myself get stopped out, so I am convinced that I was wrong. So that is totally fine. It will be a 2-hour loss today, and we'll come back tomorrow. But yes, go back to the oil thing. Here's what we don't want to see when it comes to oil long term. Yesterday I was talking about that with Jane. Analysts are saying that oil could push up $3 a day if it continues to push up. That is, more or less the average. Well, if that happens and it gradually, you see how the asset is moving slowly, slowly, slowly. Well, when the asset moves like that, it can develop and then trend like that the whole day, and it can happen in the same way on oil. If it trickles up, trickles up, trickles up, that can continue to happen for days, weeks, months. And that would mean that when it moves slowly, well, it's going to stay high for a long time, and we're going to get accustomed to these prices. Now, unfortunately, that's going to mean higher prices for everything, inflation issues, etc., etc. So let's see. Hopefully, oil can come down. Hopefully, that whole geopolitical issue can get solved, and we can, slowly but surely, kind of get back to normal. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I wish Steve was here so we could talk about his opinion on the asset, but I think he has a little issue today. He won't be able to make it. So yeah, you guys are stuck with me today, taking loss after loss. But it is what it is. Antoine saying, wait for price action to break the channel. I'm still bearish on NQ and ES. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's not breaking either way. Right now, it's just trending up. So it is entirely possible for us to see, if we don't see any sharp reaction soon, it is entirely possible for us to just continue to see this, continue in this channel and then break out of the channel, pull back, and then start moving higher up. It's entirely possible we see that. And that might happen sooner than later. So we'll see. What we wanted for the short is, a sharp reaction at that level, which I thought we were getting here. Sharp reaction down, pull back, and then continue lower. What we might get is shorts might get squeezed, and once we reach this low, sorry, once we have a low volume node in this area, so if we're able to reconquer this, then we'll be able to move up to these highs there. But yeah, we'll see. Ryan says we will make it. Hey guys, honestly, I don't mind if I'm wrong and you guys are long and you win. I want everybody to win. Today might not be a win for me. That's totally fine, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the positive comments. Thank you. I do this for you guys. I kind of do it for me also. Analyzing charts and talking about them really helps with discipline. It really helps, um, you know, public accountability helps me. So this is making me a better trader. And you guys can call me out on stuff. You can, point out stuff that maybe I'm not seeing when I'm stuck in those low time frames. You can remind me that, hey, dude, you need to look at what's happening on the higher time frame. And look, the higher time frame is looking mighty bullish right now. So so yeah, I like it. Thank you. I like the positive attitude, the positive feedback. And like I said, all of this is real. I'm taking real wins, real losses with you guys. And we're going through it. This is the public account. Public account. Let's see what we get. We're seeing some sellers step in, but I think they're just inducing us. Um, so we'll see what happens. Yes, I want everybody to win. I think being able to trade is a great privilege. I'm very grateful to be able to do this every day, to do it, as a profession. Honestly, it can be very stressful at times. It can be very depressing. I've had very depressing times trading because I've been trading for a while now. But overall, when you look back, it is a privilege to be able to, click buttons and print money. I mean, if I had known that when I was young, I would have started this a long time ago. So of course, you're printing losses sometimes as well, but being able to just sit there and trade, it's like we're playing a video game. It's like the biggest video game in the world, and you get rewarded for your decisions or punished. So I think it's just awesome. I really like it. All right, we saw a sharp reaction there. We're not able to get follow through. So far, bias is looking more bullish than bearish. You would ask, hey, David, why are you in a short? Well, I'm in a short because when this happened, that was my opinion. And, we're just sticking to it. We're going to get stopped out because I want to be proven wrong. I believe taking a loss according to your rule is a win as well. So in order to make money, you have to be able to take a good loss. Indeed, I have to be able to take a good loss. You saw this morning, I hit out of the trade before because we were still 50-50. But there I was convinced that, okay, we're going to have to pull back before we move back up. And I just want to be proven wrong. So once I get stopped out, we're stopped out. We're done for the day, at least on this account. There we go. And it is what it is. I'm going to show you something that I saw on, and if you guys trade traditional chart patterns, you're going to like this. I saw this on another chart that I'm looking at. And let me show you something really quick. I'm going to draw a traditional chart pattern for you guys. Let's put it, actually, we have the 5 minute there. Yeah, let's do it on the 5 minute. Let's do it there. So if you like traditional chart patterns, that's what I was talking about. We had this sharp reaction there, but this is a clear double bottom, right? So we might get a pullback and continuation there. I remember somebody asked if double bottoms were valid patterns. Well, it's showing us that it's valid right now. Another way to look at this is, if you like patterns, is we had resistance there, right? And we tried to break out of that resistance once. It was rejected. And then we broke out of that resistance twice. And actually, that's the trade we took when we were long and we were looking for continuation, but we got shut down again. And then if we move this higher, so it was shut down at this, previous resistance. That's why I like trend lines. And now we're moving out of it. So I saw that another chart, and I wanted to show you guys what I was hoping for when I took the short. Let me just put this like that, and you're gonna see the wick. When I took the short right there, and I was looking at another chart pattern, you see how we wicked into this line? I thought we were gonna get a rejection there and continue lower before reverting higher, but we didn't get that. So it is what it is. Antoine's saying, I don't remember who said this, but losses are the tuition that we pay for us traders to be able to learn. Indeed, it is tuition. We are paying to learn about the market. We are paying the price of schooling. Well, we got a nice rejection candle there on volume. So will this be follow through, or is this another fake out? And these days are tricky. This was the opening range. We reconquered the highs, and we might see some selling at those previous highs and those previous highs. But we'll see if we can follow through and continue up. Let me just take a look at a few other assets. Let's look at gold. Do any of you swing trade? Let me know. I think gold is one asset that's good, that can be good for swing trading. All right, gold is looking interesting, looking to reconquer those. We're at those highs right now, those 47.67s. So let's see if it could just continue to trickle up or not. What is my analysis of gold? I asked if you guys swing trade because I want to look at gold longer term. Let's look at gold longer term, or do you want me to look at it short term? Let me know. Let's go back to the main layout. Let me put gold there. And I'm going to show you what I have. Reset. All right. So I'm going to analyze gold longer term first. And I'll show you what I'm thinking. So we had the blow off top, we pulled back, we had a V-shaped recovery here, right? Sort of. Wasn't as sharp as we wanted. Then 5100 was my inflection. So it's the area where if we're trading above this, we're definitely bullish. If we're trading below that, then we are bearish. Now, what happened was, you see in this area here right after, so Epic Fury is the war. We got this initial sell-off, which you said both. Okay, I'm gonna do both. So we're doing longer term right now. So yes, we had the initial sell-off, which a lot of analysts were saying, okay, this is margin calls. This is big money getting out of positions, panicking. All assets went to a correlation of 1. Everything is selling off. Okay, no problem. We got that reaction there. And then this was, I mentioned it multiple times, no man's land. So this was hesitation. We pulled back and then we kept on moving sideways. Then we dropped to the 5,000 level, and I think we got that sideways action because overall everybody was trying to see, okay, are we going to be able to hold? What's going to happen with the geopolitical situation? And I can't remember what happened, and we got the massive sell-off. So once we got this sell-off, we retested. Sorry guys, I'm kind of clumsy today with it. We retested those previous lows, that blow off low we could call it, but we went to look at that. This old, let me put it on the daily because the hourly is not helping out there. Yeah. So when we got this huge wick on volume, we went to this previous pocket and found support and reverted back up. So right now, what I'm saying and what I've been saying yesterday is gold is finally behaving like a safe haven. In my opinion, I think that we might see some sharp moves up. And once we get to this 5,000, 5,100 area, we will start seeing some pullbacks on the higher time frames, right? And then if the uncertainty continues, well, that's going to be a fuel for gold to continue to move higher. Now, this whole area right there, this 5,000 to about 5,100 area is inflection. If we're not able to push higher, then if you're holding long term, if you're doing swing trades, that's a level you want to be watching, right? The other thing you can watch, and I always watch that, is the correlation between gold and silver. And to do that, it's easy. You just do gold, GC1, divided by silver, SI1. All right. And I'm going to put this longer term as well. I'm going to go all the way to a weekly chart. Basically, what we're looking at there is how much silver do you need to buy gold, right? And it can help you determine where are tops, where are bottoms. When we topped way back in 2011, the correlation was 37.9, so about 40. When we topped recently there, it was 43. So it's always in the 40s when we top, right? So what we want to look at and what we want for signals is, okay, this is consolidation area between 63 and 75 is consolidation area. So are we going to go back to this, so the lower the correlation here, the higher the asset. The higher the correlation, the lower the asset. So you see we moved low here to the 68s and then we found a bottom. So now we're pushing back lower, and that means the asset is inversely correlated, so it's moving up. Now, what we want to see is, if you're looking at this, is can we go back to this pocket right there? Can we go back to the 50s? In my opinion, once we reach those 50s, whenever that may be, is when we will most likely see gold start to top. But that is longer term. That could take weeks. It could take months. We'll see what happens. But right now, I think we're looking to We're looking very sharp on the weekly chart. We are looking to go and reconquer this $5,000 area, right? This is where we saw consolidation there. This is where we saw consolidation there. So I think that is what is happening. Now, that is much longer term if you're a gold investor. Now, let's just zoom in to gold on the lower time frames. Right now, we have a nice little uptrend going, right? We're reconquering those highs. So we have a nice little uptrend happening. You guys know I like to use a line chart to trace my trends because it makes it clearer. So right now, this is the trend. And we are, let me just copy this. We are in a nice uptrending channel right there. It is a tight channel. So we are seeing a break of the channel. So we want to see, okay, can we hold these lows and then continue and break higher and then continue and then break higher until we reach this this $5,000 area, which will be a decision making point. If I go put back the candles, this is what we're looking at. Now, we have a couple areas of consolidation there, so we might see a slight pullback once we reach the 4,800 area. We might see another pullback once we reach this area right there, which is the $5,000 level. And then can we reconquer those highs? That's on a medium term. Now, on an intraday basis, so if we go to a hourly or 15-minute chart, right now, gold is kind of behaving like the indexes. We are unable to decide what we want to do, right? And let's go back. You can use the NQ as a guide. Right now, well, the Qs have found some rejection. So we are not yet able to decide what we want to do. So for now, at least for the remainder of the day, gold I would not be touching. Let's look at the Qs again. Well, there we go. We were not able to conquer this area here, those highs, and we want to see, okay, our buyers going to be able to continue to push up. But you see this pattern here, how we're kind of struggling to move up. We're not seeing sharp, long candles. We're seeing just this trickle up move. That is buyers and sellers fighting. Like I was saying this morning, you know, we are ranging upwards, but we are struggling to push up, and we are not pushing down sharply. So it is a fight. It is a fight where you are not able to find precise entries now. Maybe sellers are starting to step in now, or maybe buyers are getting tired of not being able to push the price higher and selling off. But we might just go down here, and then here we're at VWAP. We find buyers again, and then it kind of reverts back to the upside because, that is what to be expected. So tricky day. Unfortunately, you took a loss. Well, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. I hope that this loss was a planned loss and not just you FOMOing in, you want to give yourself the most amount of chances to succeed. But again, you're profitable. You probably already know that. So yeah, as long as your loss was calculated, as long as it was within your plan and it's not destroying your account, then that is entirely fine. Perfect. All right, we're seeing the sell-off here. Is that the short I've been looking for all day? That can be a very frustrating thing when you've been looking for a setup, but you got in too early, and then the setup ends up happening exactly as you planned. That has happened to me countless times. So let's see. Let's see. That might just be the short I was looking for all day. Well, not all day, but all morning at least. Because we saw, once we reached those highs, we saw the same rejection here, similar rejection. So if we're unable to, we might push lower. If we're unable to hold this area here, then we might just push lower. We will see what happens. Then again, this might be a pullback and we'll just revert back and continue the trend up. Today is a little tricky on the tape. A lot of whipsaw action. Let's look at the ES. I haven't looked at the other assets much today. Let's look at the ES to see what it looks like. I think buyers are not 100% convinced that, they should buy at those highs, and sellers have been kind of afraid to push this lower. So we're kind of ranging today. Even though the ES looks a little bit better for shorts than the Qs, let's look at the Dow. Dow looking a little better as well for shorts, even though we've been holding this line there. We've been holding this 46,767 level, which corresponds to all these lows. So this area, this would have been the line in the sand. We've been holding all these lows. So it's still 50-50, guys. It's still 50-50. Until we can sharply push higher. But you see, it's funny how we're not getting any follow through. Every time it sells off, buyer step back in. It sells off, buyer step back in. So finally, once we're able to reconquer these highs, you want to see, okay, are we gonna really reconquer them, and then we'll have a short squeeze and move sharply higher like we did yesterday. Sorry, guys. This is similar to the behavior we saw yesterday. Yesterday was cleaner, though. You see, we had kind of consolidation and then a pullback, and then this was a short squeeze. When we moved 300 points in 10 minutes, this was all the shorts that were here that had their stops over here that were stopped out, and then we just broke higher. So are we going to do the same thing today? Well, highly likely, because we've had multiple opportunities to push lower, and it has not happened. So let's see. Let us see. Maybe we're going to break these highs there and move higher. Let us see what happens. All right, we tried to reconquer these highs. We saw some selling, so a sharp reaction there. Let's see if this is just a market, or did we get some news? Let me check really quick. Crude oil stocks, Brent crude oil. All right, I'm not seeing any breaking news. Simultaneous rocket, large number of explosive. All right, nothing to run home about yet. We're definitely seeing sellers stepping in right now, but this might just get bought once again. So we'll see. This might have been just a huge block order that was resting up there that got sold off, and nothing to run home about yet. Let's see some questions there. You got a trade. All right, so Ryan says, my logic, macro view for gold is the common folk like me looks to buy gold in dangerous times, war times, or the government huge players buy gold in safer times when it's cheap. Indeed, we'll see. But I think that there is definitely uncertainty for the big players as well, because You you remember we've had this huge run up when it comes to AI and risk on assets, as they like to tell them to call them, and we've been seeing some sell offs there. So if I'm a big player and I already the decision can be hard to make, because if you were in gold for a long time, you had that gold run up, you captured some cash and you have cash sitting on the sidelines. It's kind of hard for you to determine, okay, do I get back into gold, which is considered the safer asset, or do I put the risk on again with the backdrop of this war going on? I mean, it's kind of a tricky place to play. Maybe you might be looking at short-term treasuries and maybe deploy there if you're a big player. But I wouldn't want to be in their position right now, because they're not as nimble as us. It takes them, weeks, months sometimes to get in and out of positions. So we'll see what happens there. But hey, your analysis is valid. Sell it now to secure needed assets. Yeah. Ryan saying, I don't believe Dave's in a trade unless you met me. Yes, I did, but I'm long. No, I'm not. I'm not in a trade. I'm not seeing the price action I want to see. You were seeing, every time we're seeing a sell off like this one before. So we had one attempt to push the price down. It was bought right back up, then sold again, then bought right back up. We made new highs, and then we tried to sell off again, and we were bought again at that trend level. So we're just moving sideways, but a little bit to the upside. And that is messy price action for me. That is not, if you look, if even if I zoom out on a 5-minute chart, let me get this out of the way. This price action is not looking clean for me, right? We're getting a lot of wicks. Um, when we move up sharply, we're getting sold off. When we move down sharply, we're getting bought. So we're looking to go reconquer these highs and probably short squeeze, but it's just not looking clean for me, because let's say I enter here looking for a breakout, I might just get stopped out and then it reverse back up. Or if I did the reverse, like I tried twice this morning, I tried to short, there's no follow through. So I tried to the upside, I tried to the downside, it's just not working out. So tomorrow will be another day. Hopefully we get better price action tomorrow and cleaner moves. But right now I'm done. I'm done trading for the day. Maybe I'll look at it again in the afternoon to see if I get cleaner setups. But today we took two attempts. Two are down, so I'm good. Hopefully we get cleaner action this afternoon, and maybe I'll take some trades. But so far, it's not looking good for me. What I would want to see um, on the long side is us hold these highs. So, less pullbacks, more follow through for the long. But I'm not a big fan of buying at this top. But again, I might be wrong. So maybe what one could do is, if you get a pullback, again, not ideal, but you get a pullback to the middle of the range there, and you try to risk off these lows for a quick scalp. That's one possibility. Are you shorting and risking this previous wick and trying to target these lows? I mean, these are quick in and out trades, but I would rather find a trade that I could hold multi-hour and add to it and get a nicer win. That's why I didn't do the quick 1R there, because I felt, okay, I want some follow through. So we'll see. We will see. We're about 45 minutes in, and usually after the 45 minutes into the hourly close, we sometimes get a sharp reaction, or maybe that reaction is what we saw here. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I'm just taking a quick look at other assets there to see what I can. Let me look at the Russell again. Yeah, nothing is looking clean. All right, Russell's starting to sell off a bit. So we're pulling back. Are we going to pull back to the middle of the range right now and get bought back again? Or are we going to be able to push lower? We will have to see. But I like to measure in relation to the opening range. So the 45-minute opening range, which is this box that I have right here. So let's look at the opening range, 945. Where is it? Right there. This is the opening range. And what I like to see to know, okay, how sharply are we moving is I'll copy this and I'll stack it. We have not been able to, in over an hour and a half, we have not been able to pierce through and move up to the half point of this. So if we were considering these boxes to be standard deviations, at least not yet, maybe we might doing it now, we have not been able to push higher sharply. So this might be a trend day where we just continue slowly and trend, uptrend, 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 uptrend. Just because the sellers are not able to push it lower. So it is what it is. If you can do quick scalps today, maybe that's what you do. Or maybe you do like Samir, you have a huge wide stop with a very small position. And yeah. Storage said, what time is your funded account passing YouTube session? I don't understand the question, Stored. Oh, you want to know when I passed the funded account? So I passed the funded account on Friday, actually. I wasn't live, unfortunately. I passed it. What was it? Was it on Friday or a Thursday afternoon? Let me look at the email that I got. One sec. I'll tell you exactly when I passed it. That's why I said I said it yesterday. I cheated a little bit. I saw a setup that was too good not to take, and I think it was the afternoon. Let me look. The thing is, I'm trading multiple accounts at the same time. I'm trading this account, but I'm trading my other personal accounts as well. So sometimes I get them confused. And I'm trading both prop accounts and brokerage. One second. I just want to go look. One second, guys. All right, it's not letting me log in. All right. I didn't pass it on live is what I'm going to say. But today I'm going to showcase what I did, what trades I took. I could give you a little preview. But the last trade was, when was the 30th? Oh yeah, it was Monday afternoon. Monday afternoon is when I passed it. I think I'm kind of confused. I'll go look. Yeah, I'm gonna review the trades. I'm gonna review the trades on Discord today, right after at 11:30, right after this. But I'll give you a quick preview right now. Let me just answer this question: what is your main strategy, orb, or is it a secret? No, none of my strategies are secret. I have multiple strategies. I don't like taking opening range breakouts because they can be iffy, but I'll take them sometimes if they're clean. But I trade price action. and I do various things. So usually I will look for trends and break of these trends and enter. So since we're talking about giving a preview, let me show you part of what I prepared for the session today. Let's go look at one of the trades that I took. I think it was March 30th. It's already loaded there. All right. This is one trade. That's when we had the Powell speech, and then we had the, a bottom formed here. We pulled back over VWAP again, and we were moving around. I didn't want to trade during the speech. And then what happened is we started selling off. So usually this is my favorite trade. I like when we get, so this is kind of a no man's land area, but I like when we get a push down, a pullback into a resistance area, and then we have a follow through. And then even better than that, and that's where I took the trade, is that we have a bottom. Unfortunately, this wasn't a flat bottom, but we lose the bottom, and then I sell the bottom of the range and look for, if this was a range there, I look for, a similar distance twice. So this is the range, and then I'll look for twice the distance of the range for a 2-to-1 trade. So this is one trade I took, and I think this was the trade that made me pass. Sold here, added as it was on the way down, and got out there for a good win. Actually, yeah. And another setup that I like, so basically either a trend line break and enter on the break, add on the retest and sell off, or I like reversals, so buying the dip, if you will. I think I have one of those on the 24th. So let's go on the 24th. There we go. So what I like, again, it's kind of a trend line break, but in reverse. So we had the asset move down, we had a sharp move up, and then a pullback. And that's exactly the same setup we saw on gold yesterday, where classic chart pattern, you have kind of a bull flag. So you have a push up, a consolidation, and then you enter. So I entered one contract here on this sharp move up with volume here. And then as we pull back, so break and retest, I added another 3 contracts, and my stop was there, and I aimed for, again, 2-to-1 right at VWAP. So got the first contract out there and the other one out there. So yeah. Ryan says, so Stuart, quick review of some of the trades, but I'll go more in depth today on Discord. Let's look at NQ. All right, NQ breaking the highs. Ryan says he's still holding. Well, awesome, man. Very good on you there. So I guess our first trade of the day was the one to hold. So the first trade we took, I think it was around there. Let me put the executions. Where is it? There. Yeah, our first trade there, which I think the stop was below there, would have been the one to hold. But since I was obsessed on getting a short, we did not get that. So anybody who's holding, good on you guys. We saw some good volume there that was not able to, we saw some selling, but the way, this was what I was talking about when I was talking about oil earlier, is that if you're trickling up like that, you might just continue to trend the whole day and even into tomorrow. And since we are reconquering previous lows, sorry. So let me go there. You saw that, we sold. There we go. I passed on the 30th. I have it written there, Stuart. So, yeah, we reconquered here and we open higher, and we were continuing to push lower. So we might go and reconquer these highs there, and we might continue all the way till the end of the week before we find significant resistance in this whole area there. So we'll see what happens. but bulls have taken control officially. We are pushing higher. So good on you, Ryan, for holding your trade. No problem at all. I trade various strategies, and in my brokerage accounts, I trade completely differently. I do hedging. So I trade many things. What I do live, I have to trade very short-term strategies because the idea is that I could take trades that you guys could see, and you can see when I'm getting in and when I'm getting out. So maybe I'll be doing more opening range because they're pretty quick. Trend line continuations, trend line breaks also are quick. So it's easier for you guys to see. You can be in and out of a trade in, 5, 10, 15 minutes, sometimes even less. Sometimes it's if it's a really good entry and it trends, you can hold it for an hour or two. So these strategies, opening ranges, trend line breaks. I'm not great at mean reversion trades, but I'll take them from time to time. Or buying dips is what you will mostly see me doing. But trickier strategies I do outside of the live trading. And then I have much more complicated strategies that are based on algos that I do also. But that's for another time. So yeah, guys, about 2 minutes to go in the live. Hopefully you followed your plan today. Today's going to be a red day for me, but we did what we thought was the right thing to do when we saw the setups come in. So today the market has one up on us, but we'll come back tomorrow and see what we can find. Full disclosure, if I see a clean and good setup this afternoon, I will probably take it on the funded account, and then I'll go over it tomorrow. I'll probably record it to show you guys. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And please remember to like, remember to subscribe. It helps us greatly. It helps the channel because we do this for you. And I do this for me also because I like trading with you guys. So buyers reacting, but we're not getting the sharp reactions I was hoping for, to go long, I was looking for, a sharp move up and then a pullback into a previous trend, maybe on the 5 minute to follow through. But I didn't get any of that. So no trades on the long side for me. Maybe this was the pullback that made sense, but it is what it is. And we are at these highs. This is probably a low volume node right now. So we might see a little pullback. Anyways. All right, Sword, I'll catch you in a while as well. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Is it Stannis W? All right, thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Remember to like, remember to subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow for some more live trading. And I wish you a great rest of your day or evening or night, wherever you are. And I will see you soon. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. All right. See you tomorrow.